Okay, before this, I've got to do was like set my cool. I'm gonna quick turn the light on. But yeah, should we cool now? I actually switched video I recommended a while ago. I skimmed through by that. I mean, I skimmed through because I didn't know if there was a reaction or not. But yeah, it seems not be, and the title seemed pretty nice. I think. And I don't normally just have content like reacting to theory or just people talking about side episodes. This episode is obviously my favorite episode, one, because it's Jax. I could be obviously a bit biased. I always have Jax, like Jax and Ragatha are kind of in the same boat. Now people who hate Ragatha for the fact that she's obviously fake, fake kindness, I guess, right? She puts on facade that Jax does, I guess. But people hate Jax because basically the same reason, but opposite. Is like because he's mean, he's obviously a jerk and all that. He's not a good person. No one says he was. I don't like, even if I like Jax, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, he's a great person. He's a great person. No, I mean, there's probably some great depth to his character. Like, don't get me wrong, he may just he's obviously pushed people away on purpose, not wanting to get close to people. That's my personal thing because of his friend Ribbit. If you guys don't know who Ribbit is, I think that's his name, the frog that abstracted. That's basically who Ribbit is. And obviously he doesn't want to get close to Ribbit, so yeah. I mean, close to Pomni, and my thought is when he pushed Pomni away, he actually fought with Ribbit, and that's why he kept looking at his hand. But yes, anyway, let's get in. One sec, recording everything up, let's get into it.
And I am so happy. You know, I knew this episode was gonna be a banger, as I knew they couldn't have an episode title this dumb and to not have it be the most emotionally destructive.
I will say this video, I did check a minute ago, it has like 40 million views and it's only been out for 4 days. Main Sagas Pilot also has like 334 million views. So yeah, of course people probably do rewatch the episodes eventually after. But once you watch this episode, you might go back and watch the other episodes because I'm pretty sure Gooseworks, the creator of this, did say they'll be hidden details in episodes which will show up in later episodes. If you obviously people would want to more rewatch it to obviously thingy.
One so far, and I am so happy.
Also, for some reason, this episode's not on Netflix for some reason. I don't know why or what they're doing. We'll have to see about that.
To be correct. As yeah, Jax is crashing out, everyone else is having their personal epiphanies, while this rabbit is violently denying his own humanity, as he would rather be miserable than take the chance that someone might fill the void left by his friend. This honestly might be my favorite episode of The Amazing Digital Circus so far, as it has so much going on and I need to talk about all of it. Like straight up, everyone has a banger moment in this episode. We saw people reflect on who they are and what they might be, which is perfect since the rabbit is so determined to not look back. He can't see himself hurling towards becoming a past tense. Oh yeah, we're getting into it.
I will say, everyone does get the time sandwich. Actually, I thought it was really nice because in other episodes, like, it normally focuses on either. I feel like the main people it focuses on is Jax, Ragatha, and Pomni. Obviously, Jax and Ragatha being separate from episode 3 because they really have nothing to do in that. But most episodes have them at least have some decent moments in there. This episode actually got like most of them having really good moments, especially Kingle with the whole gun thing. I enjoyed that, and Gangle opening up Zero.
Yeah, we could all just shoot each other.
This episode opens up with one of the more recent developments. Pomni and...
Also, this just reminded me, I did see someone, I don't know if it was a comment on some video I saw, or like someone saying something. The corn, like the reason they have corn, of course we know it's because of holes. But someone like said something, I can't remember where I heard it, but they said something regardless of like, maybe scared of holes because it's like, how the abstracted have multiple eyes. And you can kind of turn that with multiple holes in everybody, I guess. Don't take that out of context, but yeah. Yeah, it might be why he's scared of corn, but like, of course we already know he has like trypophobia or whatever.
Jax's friendship. As these two kind of have a vibe going on. Pomni is like far from the scared newcomer she was when she was introduced. She was just going through denial, depression, and adjusting to the fact that she is now trapped in I Spy meets I have no mouth and must scream. She was going through it. But now that she's relaxed, accepted that this is her life now, despite how much Cain has made that as hard for her as possible.
Wait, what?
Pomni is finally out of...
No joke, I should have seen that coming the first time he was introduced, but I just did not. I don't know why, I actually took me by surprise. I think I did a reaction video on that, and also after this, after all the episodes, I'll do the reaction videos I will do, I'll put them all together, but obviously I'll make this game all that certain episodes are in there because I didn't react to them or whatnot. We'll have to see. Yeah.
Panic mode. Hence, it's only been fairly recently that we've seen her chill out and be able to express more of who she is than just the fail girl YouTuber. She kind of settled in episode 3 thanks to her talk with Kinger, the goat. Since then, we've really seen Pomni settle into the digital circus, that yes, this is her life now, so she's got to figure out a way to adapt, and most importantly, how and who does she want to spend her time with? Ragatha, my god, Ragatha has been trying, but Pomni is more than just a wayward child in need of love and support. As we discover in this episode, she can also be a little bit of a menace. Hence why her vibe with Jax kind of makes a lot of sense. He's a freak in a way that none of the other members of the circus are. Gangle is pretty much always going through it, mainly because of Jax. Zooble is apathetic and depressed. Kinger as well. He's a king, and he's also crazy 99% of the time, which unfortunately leaves Jax to be the only one that you could really say Pomni could have a good time with, as he is pitching chaos and cracking jokes, but in small doses I do see the appeal. But as Pomni discovers this episode, just because someone can be fun, it doesn't mean they're not a fucking maladjusted tool.
You're just gonna pretend that didn't happen?
You must be misremembering.
Pomni has had a great track record with all the other members of the digital circus. She sat down with an AI cowboy, a crazy person, and even made it through a clown's funeral. All these characters ended up opening up to her. She learns more about them and who they are besides like their first appearance. So Pomni can be forgiven for thinking that the same...
Jax said he never attends any funeral. I would think he attended Ribbit's, unless... Every time I say Ribbit, I sound like a frog. I would think he attended Ribbit, or at least watched over the funeral, or he didn't attend because he didn't want to have the idea of Ribbit being gone forever or something. I don't know. We'll see. I hope we get
might happen with Jax. As yeah, he's a dick, but there might be more to him, and there is. But the thing about Jax is that while he tries to describe himself later as being funny, you quickly realize that the only person laughing is him, as his style of humor is just being a bully.
Hey, I do laugh, okay? He is a funny... I do laugh. I will say in other shows, I normally hate this kind
Ladies
of character.
first. No, wait, why would I say that?
We start the episode with him being a dick to Zooble, dragging Kane there to find them even though they do not want to deal with this, with Pomni just conspicuously standing there and not really saying shit about it. This is something that is really made clear when we get to Gangle's therapy session, where she talks about how, yeah, this is just abuse. She feels like Jax's toy, and even when he's gone, she's afraid of what he might do to her, and with good reason, as the entirety of Jax and her interactions is just him being awful and hurting her for his own amusement. He's always done this, and this is nothing new. It is constant, there's never been a moment of actual kindness, so while you can kind of admire how Jax can be a little fun, a rapscallion if you will, but then like immediately, even in episode 1, it's clear that he is a terrible person. With everyone in the circus knowing this, and low-key letting the situation happen and spiral out of control where it pertains to Gangle. Yes, we've seen in recent episodes that Zooble and Ragatha are stepping in to protect her from him, but that's recent. And Pomni has seen what he's like, and that puts her in this position of just rolling with Jax's crazy and harassment. That none of what she saw before was a deal breaker, that him throwing her between the trucks, how he terrorizes everyone else of the circus. She saw all that and still went, no, I'm getting to know him. There might be something more to him, like buried beneath all that, and going along with him and all of his crazy, even though he is clearly a very toxic person. There is some validity to what he's saying about treating this as a video game. Pomni decides to buy into this, becoming just a little bit evil, but she ends up missing the itty-bitty nuance that even if what he's saying is partly true, the morality of the old world is kind of dead in here, we gotta survive however we can, but even if it's fun and allows them to go a little bit crazy and enjoy just shooting each other in the face, this way of going about things isn't all fun and games, as not everyone is on the same fucking page.
I blame you for this.
Jax may find it fun, but most everyone else hates him, and this is what was going through my mind at the start of the episode, as to me, I was kind of waiting to see if there's a moment where Jax crosses the line that was too much for Pomni to bear, and to realize that this is not fun anymore. This rabbit is just a dick, which we do kind of get, but I just didn't imagine the person catching those strays would be Pomni, and also what that behavior would say about Jax and where he's at.
Wait, what am I doing? I wasn't paying attention.
But to get back to the actual events of the story, Cain is bugging Zooble, and if I were to take a guess on why he's hyper-focusing so much on them, I think it's because he is extremely close to crashing out. Completely unprovoked comparison right here, but I honestly feel like that while Ragatha and Jax have a lot in common how they are trying to deal with being in the digital circus, I think Ragatha shares the most similarities with Cain, as the both of them are people pleasers. It feels like they are obsessed with making sure everyone is having a good time and everyone else is okay, all while being desperate for the validation of others. The key difference though is that while Ragatha is a little bit stressed out and just trying to make things work, she is capable of taking a breath and realizing that she needs to take care of herself. Meanwhile, Cain, for my money, I don't fully believe that Cain understands human emotions. He is a machine that I think is programmed to entertain the people of the circus. He's sentient, but that underlying directive is what guides all of his actions, so for him making sure everyone is happy is his main goal, but it's directly tied to his need to be good at his job, which for him correlates to being liked. Cain desperately wants to be a good boy. He wants people to be happy, yes, but he wants them to be happy because of what he's doing. If he were to step back and just let them do what they want, give them free reign to do like any world, just all the shenanigans, none of his directives or quests, maybe just introduce them when he wants, but he can't let...
I will say, with what Cain said in one of the episodes, I think episode 5, he said, you want me to leave the other sentient AIs for time. That's not because he doesn't want them to be, doesn't want them to obviously do what they want. It's probably the fact that, like, they can actually consent to, like, Gamigu and maybe, like, overrule them or something. Because realistically, Cain's the one who can kill you, only one who can probably erase you completely, so you might want to get rid of him. Or inflict for circus, or something like that. It's probably too dangerous to leave it running, I'm assuming. Not because he's lazy, it could be that. And he obviously just hated the whole episode 5 adventure because of how it was like, the suggestion box. Honestly, I loved it. But yeah, that's probably the reason he doesn't want to leave them on for a long period of time. Or he doesn't want to get replaced, I guess, or something. I'm assuming like the people who made them in those servers have either died, or they can replace, or they're looking over and they can replace Cain in an instant, maybe with someone new or something.
That happen. He wants to be the direct cause of their joy. This leads him to just over-insert himself into everything, the games, the lore, obsessing over Zooble, who just made clear that they don't really want him. Hence why in the after credits scene, when he sees that no one voted for him, he starts to freak out, just like he did in his therapy session, as Cain wants to be liked. As
we know he doesn't force people in adventures, like episode 5 basically just did kind of force him. In this episode he also forced Zooble to do it. But episode we did see him being more relaxed. Like he literally let Zooble off like 3 episodes in a row without doing anything. Episode 4 is when Zooble first started like doing an adventure. So he doesn't he doesn't mind doing stuff like that.
That's a sign to his AI that he is doing a good job. But unfortunately, he's not a therapist. He was not designed to take care of fully functioning humans for this long. He probably wasn't even designed to be running for such extended periods of time, leading to a buildup of stress that he is clearly not dealing with. In fact, it looks like he's trying to erase memories to return back to like normalcy. And I feel like this is the true irony of his character, that for someone who wants to be so involved in the lives of the players, he doesn't actually allow himself to be their friend. He always puts himself as the overseer, the game master, this game show host and god, giving them half-baked quests and throwing a tantrum when they don't fully buy into like what he's selling. If you were to take the time to get to know them, to approach them on their level instead of lording over them the entire time, I feel like they could all create a much healthier environment than what they're living through right now. But he's not.
The way Cain goes about it, people must I will obviously have rough emotions of him because when he's putting on these things, but at the same time, we know it's the only thing that can probably keep them sane with stuff to do. Like, if you're in the circus all the time, over and over again, like, let's say you sit in your house for, like, years and don't even leave, you're going to drive yourself insane if you don't have any contact outside world, let's say, and you don't have a phone or something like that. You would actually, like, drive insane. You would want to go out, but if you can't, you get the idea.
Kane is incapable or unwilling to actually connect with them on a personal level, leaving him to flounder with how to satisfy them and his programming, which creates a very dangerous scenario, as while everyone else in the circus is maybe working through their issues and doing so together, no one has extended that same helping hand to Kane, who, if he were to crash out and abstract, it would just mean the destruction of the entire digital circus, and the demise of everyone inside it. This is not good. We should probably be all worried, but unfortunately, Kane...
I don't know if that's actually the truth. Like, if Kane, like, glitches out, maybe the circus just falls apart and the exit doors appears or something, and the coding gets all messed up, exit doors appears left, right, and center, you can probably escape. We don't know if him crashing out. For example, I think one of my theories I have is if Kane, like, crashes or, like, completely glitches out, the world falls apart, and they end up waking up. I don't know. Because that might... I also don't know if there's a way to reverse an abstraction, because you have gone insane. Like, and maybe we don't even know if their body's aging outside. I'm assuming it is. Like, you could be in level when you're 20, Jax is like 20, right? He's meant to be 20 probably, because outside the real world he's probably like by like 40, depending on how long he's been in the circus for. But who knows?
Being miserable is also incredibly funny to me.
Here, have guns. I don't care anymore.
Also, completely unprompted theory, but this episode has me really wondering about the nature of abstraction, as we don't really know what it means. Jax mentions that when people abstract, there are clear signs that they were just in such a state beforehand.
Yeah, but it also makes no sense in why they have like, why no one knew Kaufmo abstracted, right? No one actually pieces that together. For example, Zulment's Kinger, she thought Kinger was next to go. So I don't understand that. But then again, maybe only Jax has experienced the rudeness of them for being so close.
As, yeah, they're getting really close to their breaking points, and then it just happens. Part of me wonders though, what is the actual mechanical means by which this occurs? Is it really just them mentally breaking down so their form breaks down as well? Or is there something else here? As, just to throw out this theory, that for a game that is a massive shit show, it does have some guardrails to it. It doesn't allow players to actually meaningfully hurt one another. The censor bars are also there to keep it probably PG. All this stuff indicates that it really was a game meant to be played. So I wonder, if abstraction isn't what we think it is, that's not just people having their psychotic breaks, resulting in their avatar break.
Maybe abstraction is them leaving the game. People think they've abstracted and it's like mentally bad. Like a monster's been replaced with that like certain area, I don't know. But like, I'm assuming if they left games, maybe the thing is doing all their memories get erased. Because if that was the case, they would have definitely like gone or trying to figure a way out or something, I don't know. I also wonder if like their abstraction, if they're so sentient, like maybe they can see and overhear stuff. That would be so sad. Yeah, you're abstracted, you can still hear your friends talking over and over again, just like them having fun about you, and you're basically sitting there in the corner. Especially where Kane just leaves you, like with everyone else who have abstracted over the years.
Down, becoming a corrupted blob that corrupts everything they touch. I'm now wondering that, given how obsessed Kane is with keeping people happy, maybe abstraction isn't just like a crash out, maybe it's a broken part of the game. Think about it, if someone was in the game and facing some serious mental health issues, with the game detecting it, then it wouldn't be too crazy of a feature for a game developer to put in, where the player in distress is automatically ejected from the game. They're having an episode and need serious help. So if we accept the fact that there is no way to escape the circus, that some part of the system is broken, then the game trying to eject players, hitting a wall, leaving the transfer incomplete, that could corrupt the original file, resulting in the abstraction. This might be completely crazy talk, but it's fun to theory craft.
Just said a bunch of words that didn't go into my brain, but sure.
About exactly what is going on, as we've never actually seen someone abstract before, so it really could be anything. But okay, enough of the theories, let's get to the part where everyone gets guns.
Tactical roll!
I do love this.
Come on, Agatha!
Yeah, Kane just gave up and gave the kids guns. If everyone was on board, this didn't hurt as much as I think it does. I think this would be incredibly fun. It's basically a high-stakes paintball, or, you know, I naturally have to bring up the fact that Zubul brought up wanting to bang, which brings up the question of who they're interested in. Though given their extra hands, maybe it's just themselves. This possibility nearly breaks Kane's brain, as his desire to please hit what I can only assume is the PG restrictions. So he compromises by ignoring it, which, as we've discovered, is Jax's whole deal. But the teams are formed, Jax is separated from his victim as Gangle decided to team up with Zubul, who throughout the last couple episodes has really become her closest friend, which leaves Jax in a bit of a tough spot, as how can he be a funny man if he's not punching down? I mean, thankfully-ish, Pomni decides to be his partner, mostly out of, like, seeming necessity of keeping Jax away from Kinger, and Pomni's, well, delusion that Jax would open up in a actually meaningful way. But before that, I was blown away that Pomni actually reached out to Ragatha to be her partner. The two haven't gotten a true one-on-one just hangout, besides that time Pomni told Ragatha that it's okay to vent. And while this might be her dream scenario, Ragatha ends up pushing Pomni away, which given this situation, I actually don't find that surprising. See, I think I used the wrong term in my previous video, but Ragatha is a people pleaser. Her default response to difficult situations is to be nice, fawn over others, and make sure all of their emotional needs are met while she is rotting on the inside. This coping mechanism was probably developed because of her mother, who was described as controlling and never made her feel safe, hence the obsession with making sure everything is okay and stable around her, only feeling comfortable when everything was normal. But even then, it's less her being at peace and more of a moment of quiet rather than her actually feeling safe. Ragatha knows that she and Jax just will not get along. They have so much history with one another, and that she apparently tried to help him, similar to what she's been doing with Pomni, but ever since the death of his friend, he has become a freak.
I feel like if Ragatha and Jax went as a deal, we might have got more information, just because I feel like Ragatha isn't bringing out anything in front of the others, or Pomni at the very least. I think from what Safari said to me, Jax came in after Ragatha, so it's like Kinger, Ragatha, Jax, I think Zubul, Gangle, Zubul, yeah, Gangle, Zubul, Pomni. That's when the order they came in was. Also, the last 3 episodes aren't an episode like meant for anyone. That was a kind of pretty focused on the main big things, which I can't wait for because I am excited. All one episodes can focus on getting a its own episode. But in general, I feel like we would have got more, like Ragatha would have maybe talked to Jax a bit more, at least try. Or she would have just tried to make him happy. Or get annoyed that Jax is like, Jax got really annoyed when he said like Ragatha said he was trying to corrupt Pomni. Well, like he got annoyed about that, but he got annoyed that probably just things didn't go his way. Like he got shot, lost life maybe, but like he probably did hate the fact that Ragatha accused him of something like that.
Becoming her polar, well, not moral opposite, but coping mechanism opposite. He treats this world like a game while she is trying to treat people like people, trying to instill a bit of normalcy to the world around her. She said before, but Ragatha hates Jax, but she doesn't want him to hate her, making this offer from Pomni a pleaser's dilemma, as she knows Jax, and she knows that this will not go well, and she's too worried about what happened to Kinger if he was left with Jax, and so, with all that in mind, she denies Pomni, even though she desperately wants to spend more time with her, as the worry and concern for others leads Ragatha to deny her own wants and needs, devolving to assurances that she can be of use to Pomni. When she doesn't want to be Pomni's caretaker, she wants to be her friend. Which, to cover Ragatha's whole arc, I love it. Everyone who was saying she was too toxic or too mean in the last episode, please take a breath and kindly get off of Jax's dick. Ragatha from the
The only thing I did hate about the last episode was the fact that when Jax basically was talking to Pomni, right? And she just stares at him. Like, you can tell that I actually hear. It felt really awkward. That's the only thing I have about Ragatha. I don't mind her arc at all. It's just, I personally hate the fake kindness and all that, right? Let's be honest, if you feel that someone's being fake kind to you, right? Or they're trying to please you, be fake kind to you, you don't want to be friends with that person, or you want to at least move away. That's probably why most people avoid her, even if not intentionally, they don't want to be too close to her because of that fact.
that you would imagine to be the one closest to abstracting. She's paranoid about Pomni and Jax's relationship, fears losing Pomni, is overall incredibly stressed about her position in the circus. She craves companionship, but the main way she tries to be a friend is by acting like the team mom, when these be grown-ass adults. They don't need her to hype them up, but this fear of being alone is understandable. Zubul and Gangle are just forming a clique, Funny Buddy seems to be doing its things, leaving Ragatha to feel like the odd one out. That she is failing at her self-assigned purpose and therefore has no value, like Cain.
To be fair, even Kinga is closer to Pomni than Ragatha is. I feel like Kinga is the most closest to Pomni because of the whole episode and the whole talk they had. I feel like they won relatively nice and well, even that it's just one scene. I did like their moments together. I don't really ship Kinga with anyone, to be honest, because one, he obviously has a wife, you know, thingy.
Blaming her already rampant self-hatred, dwelling on the seemingly unfairness of her starting the game with one less life, speaking again to how she was probably treated unfairly as a kid, that she wants clear rules and standards, but life never gave them to her. Hence her obsession with treating everyone well and trying to create a sense of fairness, which I hear is very common in people who had chaotic upbringings, with all this leading to her assuming the absolute worst about a certain agent of chaos. Ragatha be believing that Jax has some evil master plan to corrupt Pomni, to turn her into a little version of him, when that doesn't seem to be the full case. Yes, he's a terrible influence, not just in his whole like, you should treat everyone like it's a video game, like we're cartoon characters, but how he gets those flashes of anger whenever Pomni just wasn't committing to the bit enough. I think Ragatha accusing Jax of corrupting Pomni triggered him, no pun intended, as he talks out later how everyone, aka he blames himself for what happened to his friend Ribbit, so he does what he always does and takes his rage out on those around him, gunning down Ragatha with extreme prejudice, leading to her being just trapped in the loser's corner, where we get one of the best scenes in the series. Because motherfucking Kinger.
There are always ways to show you care without ruining yourself over it. You need to look out for yourself in all this, too.
Kinger is the GOAT, and every time he's in the dark, he becomes just the best character, even though he's the funniest when he's crazy. He speaks to Ragatha, just saying, hey, you're okay. You don't have to do all of this. Her view of relationships on being helpful is a detriment to her own well-being. That not every friendship needs to be one where they are hanging out all the time. Space can be good, and that it's not a sign that she made a mistake.
I'm really annoyed that we didn't get to see, like, I would have loved to see, like, maybe we get to see next episode, just everyone else seeing the whole, like, clips together, right? Because Bubble was filming and all that, so it would have been nice to see all the clips together, but then maybe that's showing this episode, hence the thingy, I guess, I don't know. It would have been nice to imagine everyone just reacts to Frank Jax breaking down at Pomni. Maybe they'll look at differently, but I feel like maybe not, but I feel like some of them may know what Jax does or how Jax copes with his stuff. At least Ragatha might, but Ragatha obviously still gets annoyed at him for it, but who knows.
She doesn't have to be useful and do things for others to be worthy of love. Ragatha isn't a bad person, friend, or any other word that was used to describe her. She's trying, and Kinger reminds her to give herself a break, that the others aren't her responsibility, and it's not healthy for her to be doing all the work in these relationships. I think it's so sad how Ragatha refers to how she tries to care for others and helping them as tricks, that she doesn't see herself as worthy of love, hence the language around trickery. She seems to struggle to think that the affection others have for her is genuine and unconditional. Ragatha is doing too much for others when she needs to take a breath and love herself, which is a lesson that pretty much everyone at the circus needs to hear. And it's one that a lot of the characters are accepting, with one massive exception.
If I led you on, it was just to make this part hurt you more.
This is a fantastic moment for the both of them. Kinger, when he's in the dark, always drops bangers. And I love the inclusion of him talking about his own sense of regrets, as we don't really know that much about him. So him saying like, yeah, there are things I blame myself for, and how that's just perfectly ambiguous enough to where we don't know if he's talking about Queenie, or if he might blame himself for creating the circus. As Kinger is a king, this could be his kingdom, and it's very suspicious that he just pulls a healing butterfly out of nowhere.
But his theory that he's a developer or creator, we'll have to find out later on, of course, but like, this is a theory I've just had, like, honestly, it's in my head. I think some people have made videos on the said thing, or their fortune, or if King is the way to get out of the circus or something. It was really weird. I think I even talked about this in my initial reaction.
Kane definitely did not create. This is some Neo in the Matrix type BS where he is definitely altering the code around him, or he has simply gone so crazy and everyone's form really is tied to their mental state that his lack of sanity is just allowing him to manifest things into the game, which would be very sweet as you imagine he's literally giving a part of himself to heal Ragatha. But their little talk, perfect. This has been a long time coming for Ragatha, and I fully have gone from worrying about her mental state to just knowing she's gonna be okay, just like Gangle.
You deserve better than thinking about him when he's not even here. You're a human. You're not his toy.
Gangle has had such a fantastic series of episodes. When the series started, she was Jax's victim. They were playing for comedy, even though when you took 2 seconds to look at what was actually happening, you immediately realized like, oh yeah, he's a dick. But then she got her own episode, she found a friend in Zooble, with it being here that we see her fully stand up to Jax.
With how much people talk about Jax being a dick, don't get me wrong, he is. No one talked about how Gangle was being a dick to Jax in episode 4, even though, like, to be fair, that whole scene was right before looking at Gangle and then the Cream Mask thing using the hammers. But, obviously, Jax is bad. She overdosed on power or something. Like, in that episode, she was crazy.
When she's not having an episode, saying, no, I'm not going to hang out with you. Instead, I'm going with Zooble. With her going even so far as to trust Zooble with the Happy Mask. Wanting to say it for a special occasion, which would be firing a Tommy gun, and I love that. But the emotional scene to get there...
I didn't realize she was a she. I probably referred to her as a he in the pilot when I was, like, watching it, right? Didn't know she was a she. But I found out later, and I guess I should have figured out, but she didn't really talk much in the pilot, so it was kind of hard for me, man. And I can't remember why she did say in the pilot.
Wrecked me.
You have to choose to love yourself, even if it doesn't make sense. It's not natural, it's intentional.
Now, this might sound bad.
The fact that, like, Zuble's eyes is, like, one big and one small.
But I mean this in the most positive way. I feel like a lot of this episode can be described as the amazing digital circus saying the subtext out loud. From Jax's view that this world is just like a video game that he can use for his own amusement, to Gangle being Jax's actual victim and all the negative mental damage that has come along with it. Gangle is terrified of Jax, and he has made it his life's mission to mess with them. And that has left Gangle terrified of the idea of him getting revenge for the smallest slight. But it's here that Zooble comes in so goddamn clutch, talking to Gangle about how she can't let her fear of him consume her even when he's not there. That Gangle's sense of worthlessness, that what makes her different doesn't make her less than anyone else. I love how the show managed to work in the various gimmicks of their avatars into different types of, well, metaphors for mental disorders. From Zooble's more obvious body dysmorphia to Gangle's more ambiguous condition that probably isn't bipolar disorder at this point. But while everyone is struggling, Gangle has been the one that has been just most visibly going through it. Mainly due to a particular outside factor making everything worse. It seems like with Gangle, she struggles with being happy. It seems like she's always struggled with feeling good about herself, which is why this moment matters. But yeah, self-love isn't innate. Everyone has issues and struggles, which is why it is an active choice to try and love yourself. It helps her feel like she's okay and she's not broken because of this, well, situation. Everyone goes through something like this, and that means it's possible for anyone to choose self-love. Something that's proven when Gangle chooses to wear her happy mask to fire bullets at Jax. And even after the mask is broken...
By the way, I said to my reaction, this scene was so sad when she just fell down slowly, bro. That's probably the most sad of like Gangle's mask breaking. Someone's 100%, someone's at the end of the video service, someone's going to make a compilation of Gangle's mask just breaking. And I might just watch all of it, but like, someone's just definitely going to make combination of Gangle's mask just breaking over and over again. 100%. There's no way someone wouldn't. She's
still smiling underneath as she's happy, and she chose to be. Zooble, while a little bit taken.
That first, to be honest, because I kind of felt like the mask is breaking thing. I didn't notice she was just smiling underneath, right?
back by Gangle asking like, hey, have you ever had to make the choice to love yourself? Which hurts because Zuba has very much been struggling with their mental health and afraid that Gangle is going to reach out to them. I can see why this would hurt, as Zubul very much seems to have been keeping their issues close to their chest. They haven't really been talking to everyone about their depression and struggles with body dysmorphia, instead just locking themselves in their room and avoidance. But they've been slowly opening up, and they are crushing it with their new bestie. I'm very curious to see where we go next with their character, as they seem to be in a very good place already, willing to use their interchangeable parts to max out their gun stat and fire at everyone, showing that while Zubul has been struggling with their self-image, they are starting to embrace the malleability of that identity in finding joy and pride in it, which, you know, is better than dreading and being resentful of the condition. But let's be real, the true biggest line that dropped during this whole Gangle Zubul speech was the one about, hey, you're only human, and how that is directly contrasted with Jax's advice, which is clearly failing him.
But the silver lining is you can pretty much do whatever you want.
Now, I cannot understate how much I hate Jax as a person, but I do love him as a character. Awful to be around, and I just would have a restraining order so quick, but in being this much of a mess who's clearly struggling to maintain his sanity in a virtual world, ooh, I am loving all of this, even though all of his issues right here have been telegraphed so heavily since episode 1. I mean, I think I clocked Jax's whole nihilism mechanic back in episode 2. NPCs as toys for his own amusement. And if you want a real red flag, he uses violence as a means of catharsis in a world that he can do so without consequences. He's basically an early...
With episode 2, people were so hating on Jax in general, like for the fact that he was a mean bully, right? Episode 1, he was bullying people and he was mean. He just does it to more extreme because it's an actual adventure in episode 2, right? So I honestly never understood why people did it. Like, oh, Jack's such a mean character, you ruined Jax. I'm like, it was his character from the start. In episode 1, it was pretty obvious the way he was pushing Gangle around, etc. I like Jax as a character, don't mind him as a person, but if I was in the middle, so it's 100% I would be fucking annoyed to quite put it down. But as a character, 100%, I love him. And gotta say,
Flowey or Simon. He treats everything like a game, as that's the only way he can mentally survive. As if it's just a game, none of it matters. And he really needs none of it to matter, or else he'll crumble under the weight of everything he's done and all of the pain he's feeling. I do believe there's some validity to Jax's mindset. Yeah, this isn't the regular world. This is a video game. We do not have to play completely nice all the time. Running around and firing guns is a good way to cut loose and enjoy the few perks of being trapped in the digital circus. But again, that mindset only really holds up and works if it's done in small doses and if everyone else is on board with it. Jax, in contrast, basically takes just the worst, most extreme position he can, treating everyone terribly, trying to say that it doesn't really matter, it's not serious, bro, even though he gets immediately heated the second.
Realistically, also, no joke, I absolutely hated Gangle for doing this, like turning Jax into a maid, because it was so uncomfortable to watch him in the maid outfit. Like that was so uncomfortable to watch, not because of Gangle like thingy. It was fun to see Gangle actually stand up with Jax, even if for a bit, but like at the same time it was really annoying seeing Jax in a maid outfit for like what felt for, I thought it was like 4 or 3 minutes, give or take. Really annoying and weird. The thing is, I forgot what I was going to say now.
The joke's on him, as it does matter, and he knows it. I truly think that there's something brilliant in how Jax tries to talk about his character like, oh, I'm just an archetype. After a while, everything else fades away, and you're just this. You can basically hear him screaming, I am not a jerk with a heart of gold. I am just a jerk. Stop trying to be my friend. As having a friend would mean he have to acknowledge that this isn't just a game. He is not a cartoon character. And I think for him, that is the scariest thing imaginable, as it would mean facing the fact that all of this is real and that he can't keep denying how he feels. As to quote the show,
sometimes it all just feels pointless.
Yeah.
But it's not. Not if you have people who care about you.
This, I think, is one of the big overarching statements of the Digital Circus, and it is a lesson that Jax is adamantly refusing to learn. I believe he blames himself for Ribbit's death. When Ragatha brings up he's corrupting Pomni, he goes cold, as this touches on a very sore spot, as his friend died, and I think he holds himself responsible for that, with there also being a potential double pain here, as A, he doesn't want to repeat history, and B, he doesn't want someone to get that close to him ever again. Jax is terrified of creating bonds. He wants to treat everything as a joke, because then he can pretend that
how close they were, to be honest, because like we know obviously Jax blamed himself, but maybe they weren't like, they could have, I'm assuming they're best friends, and obviously they're only assuming because of how much thing, but like maybe Ribbit and Ragatha have the same personality. I don't know if that is, but Ribbit sounds and looks, no, not sounds, but looks like Pomni with facial expressions that we've seen. So maybe he was like identical to Pomni, and he just sees Ribbit in Pomni, and that's the reason he gets close and stuff.
None of this is serious, and he doesn't have to care. He really wants to be that asshole cartoon character that just ribs everyone, makes jokes, and that's it. That there's nothing more to him when there clearly is, and it's all pain. If he's just a cartoon character, he can act however he wants, he can treat the gang however he wants, that it's
I would say I really do hope eventually we get to go into Jax's room, because that's one of the big mysteries. I feel like we haven't gone. I think we've seen posters of people's rooms out, but we haven't gone into the show. But we haven't seen Jax in a poster either at all. So yeah.
Really their problem for not getting with the program, when no, it's his actions that are the problem. He calls out Ragatha for being fake, yet here he is trying to say, no, I'm nothing, I'm just this archetype. Bro is the fakest person here, and he always clearly has been. But that's the beauty of it. When he's exasperating everyone else, it further isolates him and makes it easier for him to have this devil.
The thing is, with Jax being like fake, I would say he personally makes himself believe this is the case, so it's not like fake, him knowing he's fake, I would say. Like, Jax obviously is a fake character in general, but like, with how Ragatha and Jax both have their fakeness out, I feel like it's different in contrast. Like, Jax probably convinces himself this is the way and this is what it needs to be. Ragatha is like, I need to do this, this is the only way they'll probably make probably accept me or something like that, or she feels like she's not wanted. Probably because something to do with her mother, I'm assuming, or her family or something.
Make her attitude where no one likes him. Hence his massive crash out when Pomni tries to give him a hug, as at first he likes it, and then he realizes what's happening and proceeds to try and push.
In my opinion, I feel like that is simply because he sees Ribbit, like when he was hugging him, and he just didn't like it.
Pomni away, who, to her credit, has been very much going along with all of Jax's things this entire episode. She's trying to embrace being evil Pomni, which was just the other version of herself in the last episode. She finds some joy in this, as yeah, being the villain, it can be fun from time to time. But once all the people are gone and she catches Jax's mask slipping, he's bummed out when he got another reminder of Ribbit, and the potential of what Pomni might mean to him now. He recoils the second she tries to have an actual, like, real talk with him. And he proceeds to lash out, which is a massive betrayal. They had fun, they talked, he did actually open up, but the second Pomni tries just a little bit to take things seriously, all of Jax's worst instincts come out, denying everything that they did today meant anything, demanding that Pomni shoot him as, yeah, he'd rather be hurt than loved. Plus, you know, it would get him out of this whole conversation. And I cannot undersell how much Jax's voice actor, Michael Kovac, crushes it here.
You are my playthings, and I get joy out of making you suffer.
You feel every venomous barb, every ounce of pain in his voice as he tries to drive Pomni away and commit to this self-flagellating shtick, taking it from low blows to hell, telling Pomni that he would forget her and move on if she were to abstract tomorrow, which is her greatest fear and the thing he knows will hurt her the most. I honestly thought that Pomni was going to turn that on herself right here, as...
I'm pretty sure a lot of people actually thought she was just about to shoot herself, me included. I may have not said my reaction, but honestly it was going through my head that she just kind of blow the trigger on her brains. And if she did, then maybe Jax would feel sorry because he would see Ribbit doing it or something. I don't know.
You know, F you to Jax. But instead, she throws hands.
Fight back!
Are you crazy?
Before that, we do see Jax fighting the urge to console her and instead he wants to be nice here. He wants to, he knows what he just said is wrong, but he can't let it out. He cannot let himself care, so he defaults to being a dick, saying that she can't take a joke, which given how Gangle's language is so reflective of abusive relationships, romantically, friend-wise, I still say this is an abusive relationship. Saying that it's just a joke thing, perfect. As he really is that guy. But while Pomni is beating his ass, he just doesn't fight back. He can't bring himself to hurt her, and I feel like he's also just shocked by Pomni reacting like this, as he is so used to people not caring about him, to just blow him off and to walk away, which would allow him to keep living in denial. When Pomni is bringing the heat, he's just trying to hold her back, and despite everything he just said and how he's been hunting down the rest of them like they were prey, he does care about Pomni. She means something to him, even if he wants to deny it with every fiber of his being, and denial is a huge part of Jax's character, as he doesn't want to acknowledge all of his trauma, he doesn't want to acknowledge all of his pain.
Also, just so you know, that thing was apparently a panic attack and not him abstracting. It's probably him close to his breaking point, but as of right now, that was a panic attack. I don't I don't know if Jax will abstract, we'll have to see, but yeah. It'll be annoying if Jax distracts, but I can understand why and all that. Still annoying as hell, but I get it. If Jax distracts 100%, it might be crying, man. Because he's my favorite character in the middle, so some people will be like, oh, you trust Jax and whatever, or trust Jack fan. I am, so what? I feel like he's just the most one to actually start to and especially in the first episode, he got a lot of lines, even if he didn't get as much as Reg Farm probably, I think. And second episode was fun, third episode literally got no Jax basically. But fourth episode, people enjoyed it probably because Jax actually got through to a bunch of pain. Fifth episode, Jax opens up, so more people started like Jax a bit more. Sixth episode, I think a lot of people like Jax, but also are annoyed with Jax, so it's a mix.
And he doesn't want to acknowledge how he feels about all the people he's lost up until this point. Which, with this idea in mind, I think it does really recontextualize an earlier scene that was played off as mostly a joke. As we did see Jax freak out about, his tail disappearing.
By the way, I've seen people say,
even though
I've seen people say that, the reason Jax's tail disappears because rabbits apparently lose their tail. Metaphor is rabbits lose their tail when they lose their innocence or whatever. And Jax lost his tail because he lost his innocence when rabbit abstracted. Don't know if it's true. We'll see what he says. But yeah. So, and that's why, honestly, I've actually never paid attention to the character's design. I've never noticed he had a tail even though he's a rabbit. I never noticed it. I don't know if anyone else has called it out. Maybe it's just character design that time people thought something. I don't know.
We have never seen him with one. This is hilarious, it's weird, it's out of nowhere, but Jax did seem actually perturbed by this revelation. But given the recent context, I kind of have a new theory about what's going on here. That Jax losing his tail is symbolic of just his refusal to look back. He wants to live in the moment, torturing the others, refusing to more acknowledge the past, even as he is haunted by it. Hence, he's begun to start losing sight of himself, as he tries to default to this jerk trickster archetype, hence him losing his tail, as if we believe that abstraction is a form of...
I'm not gonna mention that fact that he has his tail in the episode, but okay.
Self-manifestation of a mental break so great that people lose sight of themselves, then we can take this idea of characters changing their physical form one step further. Kinger in this episode was able to affect the world by creating these health butterflies. Pomni, just through sheer rule of cool, was able to do an impossible shot. Ragatha used Toon Force to blast Jax's bullet right back at him. This could be a sign that characters do affect the world around them, they just don't realize it. Then it wouldn't be too much of a stretch for Jax, who wants so badly to deny parts of himself that he ends up losing a piece in the process, hence the missing tail, which mysteriously returns this episode. And I wonder if this has to do with him opening up to Pomni initially, so given what just happened, he might...
Yeah, he's about to say, but I was gonna say, I was thinking, because of how people symbolizes it, he might lose his tail next episode, and it won't be no one will actually talk about it or whatever. No one would talk about it. Baby Jax doesn't even know how he lost his tail, or even if it came back, he doesn't even know it, and it just randomly disappears again. We'll have to find out. Next episode, some people saying it's in a month, some people saying 2 months, 3 months, some people saying 5 months or something. But apparently episode 7 was recorded with episode 6 and 5, so it could be out like a month or 2.
Lose it in the next. Now, when everyone meets up again, Pomni and Ragatha are that like, oh yeah, we're gonna need to talk after this. Ragatha just wants to apologize for how she was acting, and Pomni just is like, I need to talk about Jax. Meanwhile, the bunny boy is hanging in the back, refusing to interact with the others, as he is ashamed, and he's also having a panic attack as he rushes into the bathroom.
God, it looks stupid.
I did think he was abstracting right here, but the deep irony really hits when after all his talk of being the funny one, he just looks in the mirror and says he looks ridiculous. Because he doesn't believe this shit, but he needs to so badly as he thinks that's the only way to stay sane in this world, when clearly it isn't working. He may try to deny it, but Jax is hurting and Pomni sees it. And this isn't an excuse for any of his behavior and the mental harm he's caused everyone else. And I cannot believe that this actually needs to be said. There were so many great moments in this episode, but after a point, I would just be listing them all off and saying, oh, that was so cool. Oh, naturally,
when a new episode comes out, it honestly feels like a new season has come out of my favorite show. Even if it's only like 40 minutes or whatever.
I didn't bring it up.
I wonder how long the next episode is going to be. If it's going to be shorter than this or longer, we'll have to see.
Just assume I loved it, especially the duet and Kinger being a badass.
Yeah,
also, Jax shot Pomni, and I feel like that very much plays into how he accidentally harms those around him. But enough about that. It's probably going to be its own video. I think the thing that really puts this whole episode above and beyond for me is the writing. We've seen these characters come such a long way from episode 1, where they did feel like archetypes with hints of how they were coping in the digital circus. But here we are 6 episodes later, and we see so much of them. We see them healing, finding friends, sharing the burden of being trapped here, with it only being those who are pushing others away that are now suffering. Jax is one bad day away from having a full-blown abstraction. Kane may just be a computer program, but he is trapped in here just like everyone else. Jax and Kane both suffer because they are unable to connect with the others, and that is driving them to madness. There's always so much going on with the show, but it never feels like too much. It is perfectly paced with jokes, quiet
I feel like the people who have been close to abstraction is Gangle apparently felt like she was about to distract in episode 4 with her walking out slowly. I think the reason started playing too, and then obviously she got hit by the car truck and when they came to office. Ragatha seemed like she might be on the road of abstraction. There was also some glitch with her hair, but it was just a glitch in general. Especially when she's all left alone. And Jax feels like he's the closest right now with the panic attack. Kane feels like he's breaking and all that. All in all, I feel like Pomni with Gangle, she's probably gonna be safe as you. Both the Freddies, they seem connected, right? They seem to be very safe. Right now, with Ragatha, she might be safe with Pomni. Pomni might try and save or get close to Jax, but Jax push it away probably in episode 7. I feel like it would make sense if episode 7 starts straight after this episode and Pomni tries to console Jax, but Jax just walks away without saying anything.
Moments and everything in between. I may have been slow to get on the hype train for this show, but let it be known.
Considering the other Inside adventure we had, this one beats that by a mile. The pilot's probably my least favorite episode. It introduced us to the world, but it's my least favorite episode, I think.
That I will sing the fuck out of its praises. Also, I need to really update this title as it's super out of date. Also, I mainly did because I figured someone else who was meaner would want to use it one day. Episode 3 was perfect, but I think this episode is my new favorite. Gooseworks is killing it, and I cannot wait to see where this series goes next. Alright, this has been Sarcastic Chorus. Hello. Subscribe. That's about it. Love you all. Peace out. Also, tell me what you thought down below. Also, I have a second channel. I will figure out what I'm really doing with it, but for the moment, I did a reaction video to Fixed, if you're interested.
Okay, that is that video. I enjoyed it a lot. More than I thought I would, honestly. Talked about a lot of stuff. This video will be linked in the description down below. Go watch it. Or if you watch this, I'm assuming you haven't watched that video or you don't want to watch it, go subscribe to the button if you guys like how they talk about certain stuff of the show. The video will be linked down in the description anyway, just because, you know, of course I'm reacting to it. Somehow this is longer than my Rainbow Circus reaction. I don't know how. regardless, if you guys want me to do more, sort of react to certain theories or react to certain stuff about the main circus, maybe fan songs or whatever, might not react to fan songs. I have done so in the past, but I might not react to them because of just the fact that I do just watch them randomly. If I see a fan song, right, I'll just watch it, because why not? Because most of the songs are voiced by the creator. If I want to, I might react to the full verse of Jack's Toy Reprise. I watched a bit of it and it's coming out soon. Maybe I'll react to that. We'll see if I remember anyway. Without further ado, if you guys want me to react to more Windows Server stuff, I cannot wait till episode 7 comes out, because obviously I'm really hyped. Without further ado, subscribe, all great stuff. Bye guys, once I really put this on actually. Yeah. All in all, I did enjoy this video a lot. I enjoyed episode 6. Honestly, episode 6 is by far my favourite episode. It's not even close between whatever comes second. I actually don't know what comes second now. It might be between episode 4 and 5 maybe, I don't know. Or 4 and 3, only 5 and 3, I don't know. Well, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.